Please welcome Mr. Jeff Felice. Hi, how are you, sir?
Hi. Selamat pagi.
Hi.
Selamat pagi.
Okay. Selamat pagi. Okay.
Pagi, yes.
Okay.
So it's nice to meet you, Mr. Jeff Felice.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for attending this event and becoming one of our guest speaker today. I'd like to share a brief profile of Mr. Jeff Felice. Mr. Jeff is currently the president of CertNexus, a USA-based leading global certification body with 25 years of experience within a training and certification industry. He aimed to bring change within a global organization while improving the opportunities for individuals in emerging technology. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for becoming our speakers. And I'd like to remind you, you have a 20 minutes for present your materials, and then we have a 5 minutes for a question and answer. And our team will remind you the time by turning the chat. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And so I'm going to share my screen quickly here.
And thank you everyone for joining today. We greatly appreciate the time and the opportunity, and thank you to Multimatics and Kira Talents as well. Again, as I shared, my name is Jeff Felice, and I serve as the president of CertNexus. If you're not familiar with CertNexus, we are a global certification body focused on
Vendor-neutral emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, data science, cybersecurity, and more. And so I'm going to talk to you about artificial intelligence and how we can use it to be more competitive in our work environments. And I want to start is with generative AI, probably because most of you have seen something about generative AI in the media related to ChatGPT or DALL-E or other like generative AI models. And these models essentially allow you to use text to generate other text or audio or images. And so with a few short prompts, I can write blogs, I can write essays, I can write novels, I can generate art potentially, if you want to consider it that, right? I have the ability to do this with generative AI. So we see a lot of how we're using it for personal uses, but you think about how we're using it for businesses as well. And it's really transforming how we do business today. So we're starting to use generative AI in marketing, we're starting to use it in sales. And you've probably seen that Microsoft has adopted ChatGPT in their Bing search engine and wider uses as well. And so this is only going to accelerate. But before we really start to think about what generative AI is, I want to define what artificial intelligence is. And this is really the ability of machines to exhibit human-like intelligence. So it's for the ability for machines to make decisions or perform tasks that we would typically relate to humans' capabilities as well. With that, we have various forms of artificial intelligence. We have today what we call narrow artificial intelligence or narrow AI. And this is where typically even the largest language models, the largest generative AIs like ChatGPT, today, most of them do very narrow things. You type in text, it produces text. You type in text, and in another one, it produces images. But one has not been able to do both. And so that's what we call narrow AI, where artificial intelligence is able to do one thing really well. Well, we're starting to move towards what we call general artificial intelligence or general AI, where artificial intelligence is able to do a multitude of things. And in fact, Google has released a model called Gato, and actually OpenAI, who released ChatGPT, they just released GPT-4, and they just announced that this week, which actually has the ability to do multiple things, not just essentially text to text or text to images. It has the ability to do both, and the same with Google. So again, you can see the rapid advancement that we have. And if I had more time, I'd go out to ChatGPT and show you how it works and show you how Gato works and how it can both do language, but also actually articulate a robotic arm as well. So think about that. We're now developing AI that can do a multitude of things. So if we pull back the covers a little bit, we want to understand how does AI, how does it differ from traditional programming? And you think about traditional programming, it's really based on rules, right? And nested if-then statements, if this, then that. So if I select a cell in Microsoft Excel, then it will bold. If I type 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 displays. Machine learning is different because machine learning is actually learning throughout the process. So the algorithms we select, they learn from the data that we present to it. It makes predictions and it can learn from those predictions. So it's not your traditional programming. Now you're essentially, your algorithm has the ability to learn and improve over time. And with deep learning, we take this to the next level. So with deep learning, we do this across multiple layers. So a lot of times we'll see deep learning being used in natural language processing or NLP. It's also used in computer vision, object recognition, etc. Where essentially we can do things like take an image, break that image down into its smallest parts, then reassemble it to be able to identify what that image is, right? You probably see this on your, your iPhone or your Google phone or whatever phone you use today, Android phone, and you see where essentially they start to tag your face. How does it know your face? Well, it's using artificial intelligence to do that. It's being able to decipher what your face looks like or what your friend face looks like, and then be able to tag those as well. So how do these AI concepts relate? Well, again, if you think about artificial intelligence, again, it's the ability for machines to complete human-like tasks. Again, being decision-making, being able to act in the physical world, articulate a robot, etc. Machine learning is the most often used form of artificial intelligence, again, where we are training algorithms with data to get to specific decision-making processes or outputs. And then the more advanced form of machine learning is deep learning. And this is where we rely more on the model itself, the algorithms, to actually decipher what the data tells us about it. So again, these are how these typically relate. Again, across businesses, we're using artificial intelligence, but when we're actually going to implement them, we're implementing typically machine learning or deep learning solutions. And so how are we using AI in our workplaces today? And then again, even in our personal lives? Well, one way is to improve user experiences. So you think about it, many of us engage with chatbots today, right? This is where we have AI systems that use natural language processing, NLP, to essentially engage in real time with us. And these are text-based, now they're becoming voice-based as well. But essentially there's a series of prompts and they're able to be able to ask us questions, then hear what we're saying back to it, understand that, and then be able to generate additional language. So this is a series of natural language processing that happens. So for example, if I was to ask Siri, I'm based outside of Atlanta, and if I was to say to Siri, what's the weather today in Atlanta, Georgia, in the US, it would respond back. It's 15 degrees Celsius at today in Atlanta, right? So that's actually all, again, natural language processing, the ability to understand language and the ability to be able to actually provide language as well. So again, we're seeing this in our chatbots. We're seeing it in sentiment analysis. This is where we're starting now to determine the attitudes that our customers potentially have towards our products and services, right? So we are now be able to take text or other ways that they interact with our website or emails, etc., and determine, is someone likely to be a customer? Are they likely to purchase a certain product? Are they positive about what we're doing with our products and services in their comments? Emotion AI takes that one step further, and we actually bring that into our physical world. And now what we're actually doing is looking at our using facial recognition, our expressions on our faces. So, hey, am I excited? Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. There's hundreds of us together tonight or this morning for you, and I'm excited about that, right? So Emotion AI will be able to gauge that and realize the excitement I have being here today. And then we have recommendation systems. We all see recommendation systems throughout our daily lives. If you use a streaming service, whether that's audio, video, etc., they're making recommendations to you. When you go onto an e-commerce website and you're looking at one thing, it'll recommend something else. Again, a lot of times that's doing it based on your past purchase history or others that have purchased items like you. And it may be even real time. So they're actually starting to take into the context, right? So if I'm on a website during the middle of the day, I may see certain products like sunglasses. At night, I could be on the same product and it's going to show me a sleep mask, right? So again, those recommendation systems become highly contextualized through the use of artificial intelligence. We also have the ability to optimize processes using AI. So again, we can do this in our manufacturing environments with industrial robots. So we have robots that essentially have the ability to articulate and do very specific things, but now we even have general robots that can actually understand their environment. There's a great video out there. If you look at it's Boston Scientific, and they have a great demonstration of their robot warehouses and actually doing a dance routine. I highly recommend you go out and do it. We also have robotic process automation, RPA, and this is where we use software agents or bots to actually perform tasks. So instead of being in our physical world, now we have these RPAs that essentially automate simple tasks in our digital environment. We use it for predictive analytics, right? So we start to use data and not only look at the data historically to try to project the future, but actually do predictive and prescriptive. So now we're starting to not only look at what the future is, but what are the various options that are available to us and what's the most likely to occur. And we're able to do that again with artificial intelligence. Also, when we go back into our physical world, we use it for route optimization, right? So many of us that have products delivered to us today with large carriers, they're actually using route optimization. So it takes the least amount of time, it's the safest for the drivers, and it provides the best experience for customers. So again, another way that we're able to optimize processes and using AI. Again, when we use AI to excel in our organizations, we need to make sure that it aligns to organizational initiatives. AI is a tool, like any tool. It's not to be used for all challenges or opportunities. So we really need to see, what are the initiatives and strategies in our organizations? How do we align to them? So is AI the right solution? So are we going to do things like we just talked about, which is process automation? Are we going to do things that help improve our customer experience through sentiment analysis or chatbots? Are there other relevant initiatives around data strategies and growth strategies in our business? And is AI the appropriate tool? So we need to make sure, again, we're using the right tool for the right challenge or opportunity in our business. We also need to understand the competitive considerations, right? Artificial intelligence, as this title of this session states, can give us a competitive advantage. So we need a way to understand how do we maintain our industry leadership. And some ways we'll use AI is, again, we talked about the ability to streamline business processes, but we can also develop entirely new products and services, right? ChatGPT is now going to be a new service that Microsoft has integrated into their various platforms, right? That's a brand new product from artificial intelligence. Recommendations engines, dynamic pricing. Why do we pay different prices during different times of the year, different days, et cetera? A lot of that, again, is dynamic pricing is creating a whole industry around pricing. Also, our ability to, again, engage with our customers and generate renewed customer interest in additional products and attracting new talent. We're even using it in our talent management systems today. AI is used being extensively across all industries. Just 3 quick examples to make sure we're within time here. So AI is used in finance. So the financial industries today is using it for fraud detection, right? So it's actually AI is better at humans at determining what's a likely fraudulent activity, right? Someone may have taken my credit or debit card and attempting to use it, and AI will be able to determine that more quickly than a human would be able to. They're using advisory services, right, to ensure that those that are investing their money with financial institutions are gaining the greatest return. And also risk assessment, right? Investing can be risky, right? So how do you mitigate risk while, again, providing the greatest returns to an individual and organization? It's also a really exciting field is the use of AI in healthcare. you think about it, even if a doctor has 30 years of experience, they may see, 10 patients a day. So if they see 10 patients a day over the course of a year, maybe they see 2,000, maybe, 4,000 patients, let's just say a lot, right? Over the course of the 30 years, they may see 120,000 patients. But AI can actually take the data from 120,000 patients and within hours or days actually look at all that information and start to see what's commonalities between those patients. What are the various biometric factors that may lead to certain disease states? How do we actually prevent that from occurring? How do we develop treatments so we can actually treat people that are ill? How do we use it in radiology, right? And again, we still need a radiologist to interpret and finally read, but again, AI could actually read hundreds of thousands of images and maybe become more expert at reading a X-ray or a CAT scan than a radiologist who would take many years to be able to read the same detail in an image. We're also seeing AI in retail. Again, I alluded to this earlier, right? Is when we go and purchase on an online store, right? We're starting to see personalization of those items based on our past purchase history or our displayed interests, right? So again, and some of this data is starting to be aggregated through our use of social media, our browsing of online website, use of cookies, et cetera. And then when we get to a site, and again, how we've engaged through emails, other marketing initiatives by that organization, we're starting to, again, get that personalized attention based on, again, what they expect that we're going to want to purchase. So we see this with discount offers, right? You can now walk in a physical store and open an app. And if you're going to get a coffee, then you might get 10% off because they're trying to get you to purchase a coffee, right? Things of that nature. And what we need to recognize with organizations that AI is now the top priority. If you look at it, this is a study that just came out this year, and AI and machine learning are the top investment priorities over the next couple of years for organization. Again, 54%, 1 out of 2 organizations said it's their top priority. It's a greater priority than data visualization, data analytics, and big data, right? Those have been the big buzzwords of the past years. But AI now has supplanted them and become the #1 priority for most organizations. Yet the challenge we have is that 6 out of 10 organizations say they don't have employees with enough AI and machine learning skills, even though 1 out of 2 of those organizations already use these technologies, and it's almost expected that all of them will, in the next couple of years, be using artificial intelligence. So you think about it, 6 out of 10 organizations are saying today, hey, we don't have the people with the right skill sets. We need more people that understand artificial intelligence. Even some of the understanding we have today, right? That there's machine learning and deep learning. And then we could go deeper into machine learning. What are the types or approaches to deep learning, like supervised learning, unsupervised, et cetera? What do they do, right? These are the skills that we need in our product and project managers and our senior leaders, our stakeholders, and then also the technical practitioners who can actually train algorithms, right? Design, deploy these in their actual environments. So in summary, we want to recognize that AI is a rapidly developing technology that is impacting our global economy. In fact, a study came out from the World Economic Forum, and they said the AI and data economy will generate 97 million new jobs. Now, some jobs are going to move towards obsolescence, those tasks that we can automate. But again, we're going to create many more new jobs, 10 to 12 million more new jobs than jobs that will move towards obsolescence or change dramatically due to these technologies. We also got to recognize that those organizations that are adopting AI first are likely to be more competitive, right? And so if again, going back to that carrier example, if I'm a carrier using AI and using route optimization and my competitor's not, I'm likely to provide a higher level service. I probably have lesser costs because I've optimized our routes. My drivers are safer, and I have more satisfied customers, right? So organizations have to realize the competitive advantage of adopting AI now. And again, AI is already a top priority for many organizations. So it's, again, it's an emerging technology in the fact that it hasn't realized its full potential, but it's already a widely used technology today. And it's only going to grow more rapidly, as we've seen over the past several months, as more and more organizations start to use technologies, generative technologies like ChatGPT and similar technologies as well. So with that, we can move to our Q&A session.
So thank you, Jeff, for your, please, Meta.
Yes, thank you so much for Mr. Jeff. And now we have a question from Pak Anwar Nugraha. Okay, from Pak Anwar. Today, many companies have AI for companies that have not yet used AI for pursuit. It is starting from a simple business process because it can be fast, but there is no difference with other companies, or choosing a complex business process that many takes time, but the results are outstanding. Is it possible to apply a model, observe, imitate, modify? That factor do you think are very important for consider this election?
Yeah, so it is. When organizations start out with AI, you should start with projects. Your first project should be almost a proof of concept, because you're going to be AI is not only selecting the correct algorithm, but it's also having the appropriate data to train that algorithm. So many organizations, if they start too broad, they tend to fail or not realize the full potential of their investment. So it is best to start with some of those processes that are well known to you and where you have data and larger volumes of data that's of quality, that you know that you can train the models. Once you've done that, then you can go to the more extensive or more complex processes, because now you have a working model that you can apply to that as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Okay, sir, maybe allow me to share a summary your session in Indonesia with Pak Agus. Mungkin Pak Agus boleh sedikit summary, Pak, untuk yang tadi Mr. Jeff.
So thank you, Meta. Jadi teman-teman semua yang hadir dalam acara ini, kita lihat topiknya adalah bagaimana AI bisa menjadi competitive advantage. Di dalam organisasi itu ada namanya manajemen strategik. Jadi kalau kita merefer kepada strategic management, kita belajar dari Michael Porter, itu harus perusahaan harus punya competitive advantage yang kita sebut dengan saing. Saya percaya bahwa di dalam perusahaan itu nggak mungkin ya, Meta ya, kita berdoa supaya perusahaan lain kompetitor jangan berinovasi, nggak mungkin.
Nggak mungkin kayaknya.
Perusahaan akan berinovasi untuk bisa memenangkan persaingan. Nah, salah satunya memang dengan menggunakan emerging technology. Nah, yang disampaikan oleh Mr. Jeff itu kan bicara tentang itu salah satu emerging technology yang memang landscape ya. Bicara tentang customer service dulu dengan human, sekarang diganti dengan machine. Gitu. Kemudian kalau kita bicara terkait dengan fraud detection, bicara terkait dengan automation juga, so banyak sekali yang bisa didapatkan dari sisi organisasi terkait dengan AI. Dan yang terakhir yang kita lihat fenomena adalah apa? ChatGPT ya. Dan saya terakhir lihat valuasinya itu sudah 20 berapa nih? Saya coba tadi cek. Udah 29 miliar. Padahal dia launching itu bulan November 2022. Perusahaannya berapa bulan, Meta ya?
Baru ya?
Waduh, kita udah sekian puluh tahun, Meta ya. Nah, itu sekian bulan valuasinya sudah 29 billion. Sekali lagi ya, ini valuasi. Jadi memang ke depan ini organisasi-organisasi yang memang ingin bertransformasi tidak dari teknologi, diantaranya adalah mungkin demikian, Meta. Ya.
Oke, terima kasih. Thank you so much for Pak Dr. Agustiawan for your summary.